Hi, I'm often asked by my students if there are any online jazz piano courses that I would recommend. Well, I've done quite a bit of research on this, and there are two sites that I've come across that I think are outstanding and great value. This one is the Richard Michael Jazz School, and this is the site that I would recommend to those who can already play the piano to a certain extent, can read a certain amount of music, but they're new on playing jazz and improvising. So I've got to say at the beginning, I was very fortunate enough to actually study with Richard at St Andrews University in Scotland many years ago. And I've got to say, he's an absolutely brilliant pianist. He's literally one of the most inspiring teachers I've ever met. And he's a really nice guy too. And if you have a look down here at the moment, there is an amazing special deal on. I have no idea how long this will last for. I'm making this video in May 2023, but at present it says access all areas for £10, and that's a one-off payment. So if that offer is still on, I would snap it up now. Okay, just a little bit about Richard. If you click on Richard in the menu there, tells you a little bit about his history, his background. Richard run the Fife Youth Jazz Orchestra for many years. Had a spot on Radio Scotland called Jazz Jargon Buster. Has done work with the Nicola Benedetti Foundation. And if you scroll down, it shows some of his awards. He's got the Scottish Jazz Awards, the Lifetime Achievement Award, and he got the British Empire Medal for services to jazz. He was also very instrumental in creating much of the material for the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music jazz piano exams, which I regularly enter my students for. So that's just a little bit about Richard. Oh, by the way, there's a link there to a YouTube video of him doing a history of jazz piano in 10 minutes. In the description below, I've written 5 links to 5 videos of Richard at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, in which he goes through the history of jazz piano, and he plays a jazz standard, T for 2, as he imagined all the great jazz pianists might have played it. It's really entertaining. It's very informative. Strongly recommend that you watch it. In one of the videos, I think it's the second one, but I'm not honestly sure, he also shows you how Bach used to improvise, and he improvises a fugue in the style of Bach, a very convincing fugue in the style of Bach, using random notes chosen by the audience and a couple of random keys chosen by the audience. So strongly recommend that you watch that. Okay, so the main part of this jazz school is the Jazz Essentials. So we'll click on that. And basically it's a step-by-step approach to learning to play jazz piano and learning to improvise, with a very strong emphasis on improvising. Starts right at the beginning with the basics, talks about playing with a swing feel, using just a few notes, using simple left-hand voicings for what we call a 2-5-1 chord progression, probably the most used chord progression in jazz. Left hand just playing either root and 7th or root and 3rd, and so on. With all the lessons, of course, you can download the sheet music. In all the videos, he demonstrates how to do it and then invites you to play along as he vamps some chords on the piano. Really worth doing. It's not, you don't want to sort of just watch these videos and then move on to the next one. You want to study them and do all the exercises that he says, and you really will progress very quickly. So he goes through improvising using scale tones, chord tones, using standard things like call and response, or you can call that question and answer phrases with examples again. just going a bit now. Improvising in minor keys. There's quite a bit on that. And then he introduces the bebop scale. I've just been making a series of videos about playing bebop piano. Very much used scale that way you add an extra note to an ordinary scale or mode, so that all the chord notes fall on the downbeat. It's very, very useful. And again, like everything, he demonstrates it and then invites you to play along with him. It goes on, adds more, so we've got major harmonic and melodic minor scales, using the altered pentatonic scale. Pentatonic scales are 5-note scales and very much used in jazz. Technique called augmentation. As always, lots of examples, and then it uses paw prints, which is a tune written as a jazz standard using common jazz chord progressions written by Richard, and then goes on to illustrate and demonstrate rather how to improvise over paw prints. Another jazz standard, the jazz train. No prizes for guessing which jazz standard those chords come from. And then using diminution, another technique used in improvising. And so on and so on. There's a few miscellaneous things. I'll just scroll down to the end. Just sort of fun things like some good blues licks there. Just a few tips and tricks, as he calls it. Slides, different kind of vamps, all those sort of things. How to play intros, that's really useful. Okay, so that's the main part of the course. As I say, it's to be studied and work through all the examples. Don't just watch a video and move on to the next one. Beginning the Blues, 5-part series, very much along the same lines, starting very simply. Goes through the structure of a blues, introduces the blues scales and pentatonic scales and so on. And as always, lots and lots of examples with you play along with, and so on. And then finally, there's another one which is called First Steps. Now, this isn't really part of the sort of learn jazz piano thing. It's a whole series of podcasts, but it's got some great ideas. It focuses almost entirely on rhythm. Richard is very, very sort of keen on students learning rhythm of things, not worrying quite so much about, which notes, which scales, which chords we're playing and that, but really listening to the different grooves that are used in jazz and other styles of music as well. And it's got some really fun exercises for walking along to rhythms and for tapping rhythms out or making rhythms with all kinds of things. It'd be really great if you were, say, a class teacher with young children. They would love these things. Or just your own children, or in my case, my grandchildren, they love them. And there's an awful lot of them. There's 20 podcasts, different ways of walking with a groove. So he talks about the different note lengths and how to walk to different note lengths and so on. Solos on a Groove, 32 podcasts there. Hearing chord changes, 6 podcasts. Concept Corner, again, a sort of miscellaneous set of 6 other things there, but it's well worth listening to and really entertaining. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. I really strongly recommend this website. And in the next video, I'm going to do a look at the Open Studio jazz piano course, which is the one that I would recommend for, say, at least intermediate jazz pianists. advanced jazz pianist, even professional jazz pianist. It's for somebody wanting to do a really, really deep dive into jazz piano. See you in the next video. Thank you.